Welcome to Cyber Bites, your weekly dose in the latest and most pressing stories in the world of cybersecurity. I'm your host, Edwin Kwan, and we've got a packed episode for you today. So let's jump right in. Let's start with a major supply chain threat that's shaking up the JavaScript development community. Researchers have uncovered a coordinated campaign involving dozens of malicious NPM packages. Yes, the very packages developers rely on every day for their projects. These packages weren't just your run-of-the-mill malware. They were carefully crafted to look like legitimate development tools, using names similar to popular NPM libraries. This is a classic typo squatting technique. Attackers bank on developers making a small typo in a package name, and then boom, the malicious code is in. Once installed, these packages execute hidden scripts designed to harvest a treasure trove of information from the developer's machine. We're talking operation system details, network configurations, running processes, installed software, and even network topology. So basically enough stuff to map out both the developer's environment and the broader company network. The sophistication here is pretty alarming. The malware included sandbox evasion checks, meaning it could avoid detection if it sensed it was running in a virtualized or monitored environment. It even fingerprinted each infected machine and sent all this data back to attacker-controlled servers via encrypted channels, specifically Discord webhooks. So NPM has responded by removing the malicious packages and boosting its automated scanning capabilities. But the campaign's success, with over 3,000 downloads, shows just how vulnerable the software supply chain remains. So what should you do? Make sure you audit your dependencies, especially if you install new packages recently. Use dependency scanning tools to spot suspicious packages. Pin your dependencies and regularly review third-party code. And make sure you segment your networks, keeping development and production environments separate. The bottom line is, supply chain attacks are getting smarter, and every developer is now on the front line. So up next, let's talk about TikTok. Yes, the social media giant. It has become the latest battlefield in the fight against info stealer malware. Cyber criminals are weaponizing TikTok's videos in a campaign that's dubbed Click Fix, and the scale is pretty staggering. So here's how it works. Attackers create a slick, often AI-generated TikTok videos that claim to offer software fixes or performance boosts. Think along the lines of, activate Windows for free or unlock premium Spotify features. These videos rack up hundreds of thousands of views. This is thanks to TikTok's engagement-driven algorithm. What's the catch? Well, the catch is that the video instructs user to run PowerShell commands or download files from external links. It sounds fishy already, hey? But instead of fixing anything, these commands install InfoStealer malware onto the victim's devices. The malware can take screenshots, steal credentials, cookies, credit cards, and even crypto wallet. And the malware even ensures persistence by adding itself to startup and hiding in system directories, making it tough to detect or remove. What's especially dangerous is the use of social engineering. Some videos feature fake testimonials or high production values to build trust. And because TikTok's algorithm can push this content to millions, of often younger, less tech-savvy users, the potential for mass infection is huge. TikTok is working to remove malicious content and enhance detection. But the sheer volume and speed of content creation make this a pretty daunting challenge. So what should we be doing? If you're a user of TikTok, never run commands or download software based on social media videos. Only install software from the direct sources and make sure you keep your antivirus protection up to date. This just shows that cyber criminals go where the users are, and social media is now a prime attack vector. Now let's switch gears to the geopolitical front. The Australian Cyber Security Centre, the ACSC, has issued a critical alert. Russian military intelligence operatives, specifically the GRU, are actively targeting Western logistics and technology companies in a coordinated cyber espionage campaign. The campaign is pretty sophisticated. It uses advanced persistent threat tactics like spear phishing, exploiting software vulnerabilities, and deploying custom malware. What's the goal here? It's to gather strategic intelligence on supply chain, logistical capabilities, and emerging technologies, especially those supporting military and economic interests. Now, these attacks aren't just about stealing data. They're about understanding and potentially disrupting the critical infrastructure that underpins Western economies and defense operations. The GRU is known for blending in with legitimate business operations, using remote access tools and custom malware to maintain long-term undetected access. The ACSC's warning is clear. Australia's national security and economic interests are at risk. Companies involved in logistical, defense contracting, and technology development are particularly vulnerable. And this is a wake-up call for organizations to treat cyber defense as a core business function and not just an IT issue. Now on to some good news. Well, sort of. Apple has announced that its App Store has prevented over $9 billion in fraudulent transactions over the past 5 years, with a staggering $2 billion blocked in 2024 alone. Now, Apple is facing a relentless wave of threats, from deceptive apps designed to steal personal information to sophisticated payment fraud schemes. To combat this, Apple has terminated more than 46,000 developer accounts and rejected 139,000 developer enrollment applications over fraud concerns in the past year alone. The company's security operations are pretty massive in scale. In 2024, Apple rejected over 711 million customer account creations, deactivated nearly 129 million accounts, and removed more than 37,000 apps for fraudulent activity. They also identified nearly 4.7 million stolen credit cards and banned over 1.6 million accounts from transacting again. Now, Apple's efforts go beyond apps. They target the infrastructure used by malicious actors, removing fraudulent ratings, reviews, and even blocking deceptive apps from appearing in search results or charts. And all this comes as Apple faces regulatory pressure to open its platform to external payment options, which could introduce new risks. But the numbers show just how necessary robust platform security remains in today's threat landscape. So this week's stories underscore a few key themes. First, supply chain attacks are evolving, targeting the very tools and platforms developers rely on. Second, social media is now a major battleground for malware, with attackers leveraging algorithms and AI to scale their campaigns. Third, state-sponsored cyber espionage is a persistent threat, especially for critical infrastructure and technology sectors. And lastly, even tech giants like Apple must remain constantly vigilant to protect users from increasingly sophisticated fraud. Stay sharp, audit your dependencies, question those too good to be true social media fixes, and remember, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. That's all from me for this week's episode of Cyber Bites. I'm your host, Edwin Kwan. Thanks for listening and stay secure out there.